I just got back from a week in Hokkaido of chronic illness-friendly slow travel. And full disclosure, I didn't even look at the guidebook until I got there, and that's okay. Hi, my name is Sally. I'm a travel advisor living with chronic illness, and I help people like me book nervous system supportive travel. And I am living and working from Japan right now until November. And this week in Hokkaido was a week of vacation that I had taken in August, really just to relax and also enjoy my birthday. I had never been to Hokkaido before, and I booked 4 days in Sapporo and 3 days in Niseko, which is a resort, skiing resort mountain town. So come along with me as I share what I get up to on this trip. In this first part of the vlog, I will walk you through everything that happened in Sapporo, my flight up from Haneda, where I stayed in Sapporo, and what I got up to for a few days, with some bad weather days and some good weather days. So I took a taxi to the airport to Haneda, and as always, wearing a mask and fantastic air quality. We love that. So he dropped me at Terminal 1. And then something I love about all Japanese airports is they have a whole special assistance area with seated check-in where you sit down, they take all the details of the special assistance that you need, and then the wheelchair meets you in that room. Unfortunately, in the domestic lounges, which I didn't realize, there's no food, and I hadn't picked up a bento, so I went out to the front desk and asked for assistance, and they very kindly wheeled me out to a convenience to pick up some food, otherwise I would have been starving. I flew premium economy from Haneda up to Chitose, and it was just over an hour and very comfortable. In Sapporo, I stayed in the Hotel Sosei. Unfortunately, there are no Hyatts in Sapporo, so this is an Accor hotel, which is the same brand as Ibis at the budget end or Fairmont at the top end. And I did book it through our Accor preferred program as a travel advisor. You can see the room is very small and compact. Supposedly I was able to be eligible for an upgrade, but I guess the hotel was full. But they did give me these lovely birthday balloons and a couple of birthday treats, which was very kind. I was able to get a $100 food and beverage credit, which you'll see in a moment me enjoying, and I could have had, if I needed it, early check-in, late check-out, and of course I missed the air purifier there, which is all important, of course, for us. Tiny bathroom, but it did have the shower turned away, and it did have the automatic toilet, which is rather nice. They did put some birthday goodies in my room, which was very sweet, and this is me enjoying some of that credit in the bar. That pizza was absolutely delicious. I was famished, and they also gave me some birthday treats in the bar, which was very sweet. This is an assortment of the things I had for breakfast over the 4 days, and I did skip one morning. It was okay. It was very busy in the breakfast room, and it was very hard for me to film this. Sorry, it's so fast. The hotel was predominantly full of foreigners, only really a couple of Japanese people that I saw, which is, I don't like that. It means the infection risk is much higher for me. There was lots of coughing, and that made me very anxious. Overall, the staff were very nice, but they did seem incredibly anxious and like they were trying incredibly hard, which again, I'm not really a fan of. So the first day it was pouring with rain, but thankfully Hotel Sosei is across the street from this former beautiful factory that has been converted into a shopping mall. And I literally just had to duck across, grab an umbrella, and then I had the inside of this beautiful shopping mall to enjoy. The shops are interesting. There were a few kind of touristy bits and pieces, and lots of kiddie stuff. But by and large, most of the stores were camping equipment and sports equipment, shoes, etc. If you're into that sort of thing, that's fantastic, great place to shop. But really the main event is this central atrium here, which they've created between two of the original buildings, which is obviously completely covered over from the rain, and there are lots of restaurants and cafes and places to get coffee and ice cream and candy, and really just a great place to hang out if it is raining. This is the view from a couple of floors up down into the atrium. So I had a bit of a wander, and then I sat down at this Italian cafe for some lunch, had the Italian pasta of the day, which had okra in it, which is interesting. Then I went back to the hotel for a bit of a nap, and then I came back in the evening and had this delicious parfait for dinner. Then on the second day I picked up this beautiful rental car, which, as you know, is my favorite thing, and I drove south of Sapporo to the Hill of the Buddha. If you have heard of it, it is Tado Ando, the architect who has created this beautiful Buddha hidden inside a hill. Now it's a little bit confusing to find from the car park, so just giving you a bit of a map heads up. I spent a long time wandering around in circles. These beautiful Maori figures all the way line along the entrance driveway, which are quite fantastic, and the views are amazing. So if you do wander in a bit of a circle, the only thing you are wasting is spoons, your time. It is absolutely lovely. There's a bit of a center over there, so I thought maybe that was the way in. And it is inside some type of visitors center, but I think it's also somewhat to do with the cemetery, because technically the whole area is actually a cemetery. So you can just see the head of the Buddha sticking out there. That's the hill, but I'm still trying to figure out how to get inside. So again, I wandered up towards the road thinking the entrance was to the left there, but no, you couldn't get in that way. And then we're back around to the Maori figures again, which is definitely not the right direction. But eventually I asked the man in the car park, the car parking attendant, and he pointed me, as you come out of the car park, you go left. So hopefully, if you've seen this video, you won't wander around in circles like I did. And aside from wasting spoons, the wandering is not lost. The idea of the Hill of the Buddha is that you are supposed to feel like you are walking forever to get there, even though it is very close. And so you will see as we come through the entrance here, there are still some deliberate obstacles in the way that make it more difficult to see until you are finally upon it, which is quite fantastical. And after I had seen the Buddha, I stopped in this little garden across the way because I was a little bit peckish and I had fancied some of that lavender soft serve, but also because it was just absolutely beautiful in here and I knew it would be a lovely place to sit down and have a bit of a rest. Then after the Hill of the Buddha, I drove another 20-25 minutes, I think, southeast to this lovely outlet mall, partly because it had a lovely food court to have some lunch, and partly because it had an Onitsuka tiger and I was looking for some more of those shoes. So the food court here, and these are great places to eat in Japan. Really reasonably priced, and what I also love is they give you the food in a regular china bowl and you just give it back afterwards. There's no plastic or paper containers, which is really lovely and sustainable. If you look closely, there are some fun English translations on this ramen place. And I picked up this lovely rice bowl with some ikura and other bits and pieces. Then of course the obligatory going the wrong way in the mall and not finding the thing you wanted, but eventually I did find it. There's the Onitsuka tiger. And then afterwards I couldn't resist popping into Costco because it was just around the corner, and I also grabbed a Starbucks beforehand. Something fascinating that I noticed on my way out in the parking lot at the Costco This fantastic light system, if you notice, all of the lights are red up on the ceiling, which means that the space is full, except for that one little green light where the space is open. How cool is that? Then understandably, I nearly did 10,000 steps on that second day, which is a little bit too much for me. So on the third day, I skipped breakfast, slept in late, and then just popped across the street again to get some lunch, this lovely protein bowl, which was delicious. And the weather was beautiful, so I sat outside in this lovely square and enjoyed the sunshine and being on vacation. It was gorgeous. Thanks so much for watching. Please stay tuned for part 2, which will hopefully be out next week.